know the vibes. Welcome back to another episode of the Hoop Genius podcast brought to you by NBA 2K24. It's myself, Momutsi, alongside me as always, the one and only Mr. BJ Armstrong. How's it going, BJ?
Oh, come on, Mo. It's all good. It's all good.
Right
I'm trying
now,
to.
we watching a little NBA action. Max Strus just hit a crazy buzzer beater for the win for the Cavs against the Mavericks from behind the arc. But Victor Wembanyama is
Oh,
doing
you know
is
what? I'm
doing
not going. I'm not going there today.
crazy,
I'm not
crazy
going.
things.
I'm not
There's
going there
there's a
today.
possession here, 8 minutes in the first quarter. He blocks the shot, gets the rebound, dribbles all the way down the court by himself, goes behind the back from the free throw line, a self alley-oop, and he gets fouled on his way through. And it's just you're just watching this guy. And then there's another possession just a few minutes later where he's on the perimeter, a few between the legs, a few crossovers, the step back and the three just cashing in. He's throwing no look passes, and it's like, everyone said, oh, when he gets to the league, he's too skinny, he's going to struggle, and X, Y, Z. Man, we've said this on this show so many times, but I'm losing the words to describe Victor Wembanyama.
Just
Also,
enjoy. That's it. Just enjoy. Just
remember
enjoy.
during the summertime where I sat on this show and I said he can be rookie of the year and defensive player of the year. And in my opinion, we made our list of defensive big men in the NBA. I didn't give you my list, but Victor Wembanyama is number one on my list.
I can't be.
Number one. He, for me,
can't.
is the best defender in the NBA. And I don't
I
care
can't be mad.
if people say the Spurs have a bad record because the kid's been playing 25 games a night alongside who? I'm going to ask a casual NBA fan to name me 5 players on the Spurs roster, and I guarantee you, with all due respect to them, that they won't be able to do it. Now, just imagine if he had been drafted by OKC. Just imagine if he had been drafted by basically any team except for the Spurs, the Hornets, the Pistons, and the Wizards. Just imagine if he was drafted by any of those teams. That's what I'm gonna say.
Well, he is certainly an amazing player, but I'm not going to go there today because now the secret is out, and now it's time to just enjoy it. I'm just going to enjoy it now. We've stated what we thought at the beginning of the season, and he has been everything and some.
Mm-hmm.
He's been incredible.
He's got the second best odds to win Defense Player of the Year right now. BJ, what I wanted to talk to you about today, though, is, we had a conversation yesterday about the All-Star game and the competitiveness, and you pointed out the analytics of the game and how it's changed and whatnot. And today, the news came out that the NBA's competition committee have officially begun reviewing whether the game has become too advantageous for the offense and whether some changes need to be implemented to achieve better balance. Now, when Adam Silver took over the NBA, the offensive rating across the league was below 105 points per 100 possessions. And since then, it's 115 points per 100 possessions. That's a 10-point swing per 100 possessions. And obviously, teams are taking better quality shots. They're basically taking threes and layups. The mid-range is a good shot if you're a great mid-range player, but for the average player in the NBA, it's to be avoided. That's what the analytics is saying. But Joe Dumars says, this is a topic we're currently monitoring. We're diving in right now to make sure that we're on the right side of this. BJ, what could this possibly mean? What could the NBA's competition committee possibly come up with to curb this scoring inflation?
What this means, Mo, is that they're listening to the podcast.
Shout out to the league.
For sure. Shout out to the NBA. And what this means, Mo, is that whether you are a casual fan, crazy fans like you and I, or just an observer of the game once the playoffs begin, okay? Everyone wants to see competition. That's why you watch the game. Regardless if your favorite team wins or loses, you and I would go to a game, the Celtics versus the Pistons. As long as we saw a competitive game, we would feel like, you know what? That's why we came to the game. Now, obviously, you would feel better about the game if your Celtics won, and I would feel better about the game if my Pistons won. However, the competition is the spirit of the game and why you and I would go to the game, why you and I will pay our money to go to the game and respect our time and respect the players' time and everything else. Now, you can't ask more of that, right? And if you want to get the results that you want, you have to protect the one thing that is most valuable. The one thing that's most valuable about sports and the sports community is the competitive spirit of the people who play it, who coach it, the executives, the governors, the league, and you have to protect that at all costs. If we want better players, we have to give them the environment and protect the core of what we're all about. So congratulations to the league. Congratulations for them to see the concerns that we all have. I'm not saying anything other than just stating the obvious. Like, I get it. I say this all the time. There's the basketball business, and then there's the business of basketball. The beauty of it is when the two come together and you get this combination of both. Yes, grow the game. Yes, people want to see amazing shots and amazing plays and all those things. However, if you're going to play at your optimum level, there's two sides of that ball. Okay. And the one side that we all know, Mo, is defensively, you have to have an opportunity, not that you're going to stop anyone, an opportunity to level the playing field on the other end as well. So I think that's great. I love the fact that Joe Dumars has a voice. I think it's amazing. And I'm looking forward to see what they do, because that, to me, is what makes this game great. We talk about all the wonderful offensive players and all the plays and da-da-da. But if you're going to win in this league, you have to get stops, critical stops in critical moments of the game. That's the way the game will always be played, no matter, what rules you're under, if you're going to win and make a deep run in the playoffs.
So like thinking pragmatically, well, actually, before I do that, let me give you some context for newer fans of the NBA. The 2017 Warriors, when they had Kevin Durant, set the league's offensive rating record. They had the best offense since the 1987 Lakers. This season, they would be an average offense in the NBA. In fact, last season, the Kings set the record for the best offensive rating. This season, they wouldn't even be top 5. So we're seeing year-on-year exponential growth. So what are some of the rules that could potentially be implemented or reinstated if these changes are to go ahead? One of them, off the top of my head, could be the return of no defensive 3 seconds. What would you feel about that returning, BJ?
Well, you've always had a version of the defensive 3 seconds. The thing that I would like to see is, one, let's get rid of the zone defense stuff.
So no zone defenses.
No zone defenses. No, get rid
Why?
of that. Oh, the reason you're going to get rid of the no zone defense, because that encourages teams to shoot early in the shot clock.
But we have seen some very fun games involved, especially the Miami Heat in the playoffs, where they have competed well with those zone defenses, throwing different looks at the opponents to throw them off their rhythm. The Raptors in the finals throwing that box and one at Steph Curry, everyone went crazy for it. So you just want to abolish all the zone defenses.
There's a difference between the elite teams and the bottom half teams.
Mm-hmm.
When you start playing zone versus elite teams, you can't do that. Why? Because those teams are elite. They're elite passing teams for the most part. They're elite shooting teams, and they're going to have a great player. Right? You can only play zone for so long against a Jokic, Steph Curry, because those teams, they have counters to everything that you do. That's why they are an elite team. So yes, you will play zone defense for a couple of possessions. That's just to throw off the rhythm. If Mo comes down and scores 5 times in a row versus my man-to-man defense, let's just give him a different look.
Yeah.
That's just common sense. Okay. If Mo comes down and scores 7 times in a row, now let's double team him once he crosses. You have to give great players and great teams different looks. However, give the defense an opportunity to play the game at the same level of physicality that the offensive players.
That's the one
How
I
many
wanted
times?
to say. There are so many fouls now where the offensive player is blatantly jumping into the defender, or they push
Yes.
off the defender, and as the defender tries to recover, they lean into them and get a foul call. Or, you know, the James Harden where he just rips the rip through that Chris Paul and James Harden do a lot. Just no intention to shoot whatsoever, but they just rip through if the defender's hand is out, so they know they're going to get 3 free throws. Those are the kind of things I want to see removed from the NBA. And not saying to reestablish what we had in the 80s and 90s, but some level of physicality to be allowed by defenders. Because at the moment, you watch the games and the defenders can't do anything. It's like, I talk to guys in the league and they're like, it's not like we're not trying to play defense. We can't play defense because we're going to get fouled out in the first half.
Well, you just had such a disadvantage because of the impeding of progress. You know, you have to protect the space of the offensive player, so forth and so on. And the offensive players have figured out that they can be way more aggressive than the defensive players. So they initiate the contact, and that forces the official to interpret the rules. And the rules say if you impede the progress, that's a foul on the defensive player. So, you know, there has to be a balance where the defensive player has to have the same space and ability to play just as hard on that end as the offensive player. And there has to be a balance. I'm not saying that one era was better than the other. However, at least you had a chance. I mean, and the beautiful thing about it is you will see better offensive players because of better defense. Better offense is always going to be good defense. Right? It's just because you can only do so much. However, if you allow the defensive players to be better, that actually improves the quality of the game because it demands that the offensive player becomes better. So, you know, I think the competition committee, you know, led by Joe Dumars and company, I think that will be a step made in the proper direction, and to give the feedback to where you can balance the game out a little bit. Yeah, I get it. People, you know, I appreciate a low scoring game. Why? Because I appreciate the defensive philosophy. No, I just appreciate when you come up with a good defensive scheme, it forces you to play team basketball. Right now, you don't have to play team basketball to win. Now you can just play isolation basketball and win an NBA game. That was virtually impossible in previous eras. Like, it's 5-on-5. It's not 1-on-1. If you want to see a 1-on-1 game, just go to a park and watch somebody play 1-on-1. I want to see how players utilize a system. I want to see how players maximize or take advantage of matchups. I want to see players call plays during certain moments of the game. Like, I want to see all of that. I want to see teams like, oh, this is what's going on. We have to make an adjustment and make the extra play. A good shot to pass that up for a great, like, that's what makes the NBA game fascinating. Now, you know, right, your turn. Mo, have you had a touch in the last 3 times? Okay, it's Mo's turn.
I'm chucking
Mo scored 2 in a row, so he automatically gets a third turn. I mean, all right, I get it. That's the way we play. Mo comes down, has a heat check, and just shoots a 3 because you know what I mean? Like, there's no, I mean, it's like dumbing the game down. Like, this game is a very sophisticated game. The NBA game is very different than any other game in the world. And now we've just dumbed it down to where it's to a point now where it's just your turn, my turn. Well, hey guys, we got to get 45 threes up for the game because that's our offensive philosophy. You know, like, just get back to playing the game in a way that involves everyone. And whether you're a great player, a role player, or what have you, you're still part of a team. And that's what made the game fun, is where you can figure out your role within a team structure. Well, now, you know, Mo, you just shoot threes from the corner.
Mhm.
Most true shooting percentages, like it's 70% on the left side. I mean,
Yeah.
the things things are that we're valuing now. It's like makes no sense. However, that's the game we're in, and so that's good. I'm happy
Well,
for that
speaking
bit of
of that,
news.
the isolation heavy NBA and the crazy stat lines we see now. Did you know this is what I read today? It's been almost 10 years since the MVP of the regular season won the finals in the same year. Well, not 10 years, but 9 years. And that was Stephen Curry in 2015. That the regular season MVP won the NBA finals in the same year. Is that surprising to you?
Well, it's not, because of how we evaluate the things you value most, you protect. Again, winning means something. It has to mean something. Winning is the most important thing, whether you understand that, you agree with it, or not. In the end, you have to ask yourself, why do you play? Why do you play if you don't value winning? Like, why do you play then? Well, what's your answer? If you value the most important thing of this game, then your job is to figure out how can you contribute to that bottom line. And now we've gotten away from that. We've all when I say we, the media, we've strayed away with that. Now it's the stats and the numbers and win percentages. And well, let's not talk about the win. Let's just talk about the percentages of the win. Like, let's talk about like everything else other than to value what is the most important thing in this league, which is your contribution to winning. So, am I surprised? No, but I would hope that we return back to that, because that's what made the game great. Like, yeah, there's guys who average 30 points a game, but did he win? Well, he needs help now. Well, now he's got to, the team had to. I'll leave if you don't get better players around me. All the things that we're like, no, let's figure it out. Like, that's why you're a great player. Like, how cool would it be to look at Wembanyama right now and say, okay, we have without question now, he's a top 20 player in the NBA right now,
Easily.
as is.
Easily. You couldn't name 15 guys that I would
Okay.
take ahead of Wemby.
Okay. However, how fun would it be to figure out the formula and the right players to build around him so that you can have him be the best player in the NBA and win an NBA championship? Because he has that level of talent and he has the ability to do it.
When do you think that will happen?
Well, it's
Because my thinking was the reason why he doesn't play many minutes is not just to protect him from injuries, but this season may really be the Spurs' only chance of getting another high pick in a draft. Because after that, he's just so undeniably good that he's going to force them to win games. So,
well, again, Mo, we have to advance to how we used to look at the game. These high picks don't mean anything now. Like, we love talking about them as if you get a high pick, you're guaranteed to get a great player. These players are so inexperienced. Think about it. Wembanyama is a generational talent, and he has 10 wins.
yeah.
So, by all accounts, if they did do that, he'll have 20 wins next year. It's not the same.
Yeah.
If we got another Wembanyama, he'll get 20 wins. Okay. And we're talking about a generational talent. So these high picks and the development of the game as far as drafting these young players, it's not what it used to be. You're not getting a Patrick Ewing out of the draft anymore. You're not getting an Akeem Olajuwon out of the draft. You're not getting Shaquille O'Neal out of the draft. You're not getting Derrick Rose out of the draft. Okay. Or LeBron James. LeBron James, I don't even think made the playoffs his first year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So these high picks sound great, feel good. This guy is, he's, what's the word we like to use? he's crushing the other GMs or whatever. Oh, no. What we know wins in this league is the following: experienced players, battle tested players is what wins. What I would like to see Wembanyama do, or I would like to see the
Spurs organization.
Spurs do, is infuse some veteran players around him so that he can learn from the vets. Like,
Yeah.
think about it. Every great player always talk about the vet who meant most of his career.
Yeah.
I would love to see him get a vet because he's just doing this on natural talent.
Instinct.
Like, yeah, imagine if he had someone he could actually talk to
He's
other
got
than the coaches.
Zach Collins.
Yeah. I mean, someone
Like,
that
yeah.
who's been a star at one point. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just using as an example. Like for instance, Chris Paul. That would be invaluable information for him. Imagine if he was able to play with LeBron James, for instance.
Yeah.
Just for it, so that he could like know what it's like and ask the question like, hey man, someday this league is depending on you to carry this league. Well, what does that mean? Like, we just throw these guys out there and say he's going to be a great player. Well, you got to graduate to that. You got to learn how to become that. So I would love to see them infuse, yes, some young players around him. Why? Because you have to have, everyone has to be on the same timeline. So that's very important for him to have other young players that's on his timeline. But also, you got to infuse some knowledge in there as well.
Yeah. And the Spurs have got all this salary cap space. They could easily do this. It's not like it's hard for them to do.
Yeah. And there has to be a balance, because I think now the way he's playing, you have to figure out how to get him to 35 minutes a night. If you're going to win an NBA game consistently, your best player has to play between 33 and 37 minutes. I'm going to say 37 may be too much, but 33 to 35 minutes, you should be able to play that consistently for 82 games. Now, once you get to the playoffs, you got to figure out how to get to between 35 and 38 minutes to win a game, because the games are played at an elite level as far as time. So he's got to figure that out, Mo, to where he can get his body to play 35 minutes a night so that he can influence the outcome of a game during the regular season. 33 to 35 minutes. That's how this game is. So right now he's probably about 28 to 30 minutes a night.
Yeah.
He's got to figure out how to get 6 to 7 more minutes a night out of his body if he's going to have influence on the game. Now, to me, that will get him to probably 45 to 50 wins. I would say 50 wins should be his barometer. And then from there, you have to figure out how to support him with the right supporting cast to be able to say, how do I get from 50 to 65 wins? I think that's very realistic for him. On a good year, he should be able to get 65 to 70 wins. I think he's that good of a player. Every great player at some point got over 65 wins in this league. I mean, that's just, I think he is that good. I really hold him to that level of excellence. So, he has his work cut out, but I would love to surround him with more knowledge. It's always important to surround people who have done something that you want to do or you aspire to do. And I think that's very realistic for him.
Absolutely. To wrap this show up on a little bit of a lighter note, BJ, did you see the LA Clippers rebrand for next season when they move into their new arena?
Their rebound. What do you mean?
Rebrand.
Oh, rebrand. Yes, I saw their uniforms. I kind of like them.
What do you think? Did you see the logo and everything?
Yeah, I did. I saw it. I saw it briefly. I didn't study it, but I kind of liked it. It was very simple. I've driven by the new arena. It looks amazing. Yes, it looks amazing. I've heard phenomenal things about it. I was just talking about it last night with some friends they were talking about the experience and I guess it's kind of an interactive experience that you have in the arena and so forth. And
yeah,
so
they have the fan wall where you have to be.
Yes.
They have like microphones on the seats to see if you're cheering or not.
Yeah, I heard it's great. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really cool. I already reserved your seat for All-Star Weekend. I think, what is that, in 2 years? They're
in
going to be out
in the
here.
Clippers arena.
Yes, in the Clippers
They got
arena.
it in the
Yeah.
Clippers. All right, bet I'm gonna be
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just sent
So
you. I just sent you the rebrand.
yeah, I saw. Yeah, I saw
So
this
the
earlier. I saw
logo
this.
is kind of cool. It's like a boat. Obviously, Clippers are a boat. I
Hmm.
like that the N in Los Angeles on the logo faces north on the compass that they put inside. I am a bit worried if they lose in the playoffs that this logo is just going to be memed into a sinking ship. You know, or the Titanic.
Only you would think of something like
I
that.
already got it ready, BJ. I already got it ready. You know, I like that they're bringing navy blue as their primary color because obviously ships, navy, it just makes sense.
It used to be when they were the San
Wasn't
Diego
that orange
Clippers.
and black though? The
No, that
Braves.
was the Buffalo Braves.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. So this is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool.
I
I
like the
saw this
jerseys,
earlier.
the
Yes.
script font on the jerseys. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people didn't like it, but I'm a fan. Not that I'd walk around wearing one, but I like what they're doing. I think Steve Ballmer right now might be one of the best owners in the NBA in terms of thinking of the fans. You know, they got a record amount of toilets in the arena no, BJ, because this is a real thing. Because
Okay.
unlike you who has the lifestyle
Oh,
of being
oh
courtside or
yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah,
box,
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah,
us
yeah, yeah,
regular
yeah.
fans.
The guy who's watched in the box at All-Star Weekend. Okay, okay. All
That
right,
was
I'll
my
play
first time,
along.
man.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
live.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
my first time.
yeah.
But for
Okay.
regular fans, going to the toilet halftime can take forever. There's massive queues. So there's loads of toilets, but also Steve Ballmer doesn't like the fact that in toilets there's often water on the floor from the basin of the sink where you wash your hands. So he has instructed them to make the sinks even deeper for an easier process of washing your hands, which is just an insane detail to think about. But also stuff like the concession stores where you go and buy some snacks during the game are checkout free. So I don't know how they're going to
Hmm.
do it, but you pick up what you want and you walk out and it just charges your card. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah. You know they have stores like that here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you just pick it out and then it just takes your information for free. Yeah, they have that. I don't do that because
I don't trust it.
no, no. But hey, buy as much as you want, and
But
we'll
but
just
yeah,
automatically
but
charge
this
you.
is the thing. The whole philosophy is the average time half time length is 12 minutes in the NBA, and he wants fans to be able to go to the bathroom and buy their snacks all in the space of 12 minutes to get back to their seats. So that oftentimes when you're watching the NBA at the start of third quarter, a lot of the arenas are empty because fans are stuck in on the concourse. So I like that he's thinking of all these details. He's
How
also
about
had
just
them.
get to the game early? How
No,
about
no,
just get to
but
the
at
game
half
early?
time. I'm saying after half time.
Okay.
Yeah, get to the game early, Miami Heat fans. But also, he has his seats on the baseline. So he's worked with the NBA and Spalding to create a new type of basket that they're going to have in the arena. So his view isn't obstructed by the stanchion that the basket is on. And I'm just like, he is just me if I was super rich. Like he's just living life and just loving it. Like,
uh, how about just move your seat? How about just move your seat where the basket is not a problem? How
okay, but
about
if he
that?
moves his seat, the fan who sits in that seat is a problem for them. And that's big money on those seats.
Okay, all right, I'll go with it. I'll go with it.
Anything to improve the fan experience, I'm here for. I'm very excited to see it.
How about just lower? How about just lower the ticket prices? That will
Oh,
improve
you
it.
know that ain't happening. They got to pay for
Okay
stadium.
then. Okay.
But
How about we just
I did
lower?
see, was it the Trailblazer tickets today were going for $1 a piece. Shout out to
Yeah,
the
just
Trailblazers.
yeah, lower the ticket prices. That will improve your experience.
Yeah, hell yeah. But
Exactly.
speaking of that, BJ, they're going to track, you know, in the fan section where they monitor how much you cheer, they're going to track how many games you go to. And the more games you go to, the more discounts they offer you on future tickets. So the prices will be lowered for the hardcore Clipper fans.
Well, I would say this. They won't be tracking me because I won't be making this information available. They don't need to know how many times I come. No one needs that much information. Okay. I won't be putting in my information and all that stuff. How about that?
If you just pulling
But
up in a balaclava to the arena looking like
hey,
Mia
hey,
in
hey,
Indiana.
I'm not, listen, I'm not passing out my information for free. If
I
you
hear
want
that.
my information, then I got to get something out of the deal.
Steve Ballmer, for free tickets, I will give you my information. Don't
Yes.
worry.
Yeah. 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 No. Hey, Mo, you're only cheering 67% of the time.
Mo, you came to watch the
Yeah.
Clippers versus Celtics. You cheered
Yeah,
0% of the time. What's going on? You're never
exactly.
allowed back in.
That's that. Like, what is
Our
this?
cameras detected some greed on your clothing. You are never coming
Yeah,
back.
exactly. So, but that's cool. I mean, hey, whatever you like. I just won't be participating in that. I'll just come to the game and watch the game. I mean, I go to my fair share of Clipper games, but they don't need to know when I'm coming to the arena as long as I pay for my tickets, which I do. It's all good. It's a
And now
good
your view
business
won't be
transaction.
obstructed by the basket. You can
It's
sit
okay.
anywhere. You can sit on the baseline.
If my view is obstructed, I take responsibility and I request another seat when I go to the next game. That's it. It's very, these are like, these are very
These are
simple
first world
problems.
problems. These are billionaire problems, BJ. These are billionaire problems. I
Oh,
aspire.
okay.
I
Yeah,
aspire to
it's
have these
like,
problems, right? I aspire to have them.
yeah, you know
Although,
what?
although I will say, I think they could have taken a chance to rename themselves from the Clippers, because the
So
Clippers
what?
just isn't a very cool name. But they wanted to pay homage to being in San Diego and the ports and whatnot. Or they could
Yes.
have changed themselves to the California Clippers instead of the Los Angeles Clippers, which might just be better branding. Because whenever you think of Los Angeles basketball, you think of the Lakers. So
You know, I think the winning will solve all of those problems.
maybe.
Winning solves all of those
How
problems.
ironic would it be if they win this year and then they never win again with the new jerseys and the new logo?
That's okay too. They'll sell a lot. They'll sell a lot of jerseys. You know,
Yeah.
I think the Clippers. You know, that's the one thing I've always admired about the Lakers is the Lakers have always had a philosophy that they were going for it.
You know what I admire
Like,
about the Lakers? The amount of free throws the refs give them.
oh gosh, yeah. You know, but I just like the fact that they go for it every year.
Yeah, well, almost every year. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, even the years you say you're like, we're trying to build a championship. We're trying to put another banner.
well, I mean, the year they had Robert Sacre starting a center, I don't think they were going for it.
Yeah, I mean that's what they do. So I respect it. I
Yeah,
respect
shout out
it.
to the Clippers. Shout out to the Clippers. But that's another episode of the Hoop Genius podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and we can monitor how much you're listening to the podcast and how much you're cheering,
Yes.
and you can be rewarded
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it.
How about that? How about that, Mo? How
How about
about
that?
you get that technology?
I
You
need to
know
get
what?
Steve Ballmer to give me who listens to the podcast on the highest volume in their car. And
you
then I'll send you a whole bunch of whatever you want. I'll send you some Air Jordans. Whoever listens to, well, to be fair, BJ, at the end of the year, Spotify Rap does show us people whose
hey, Mo,
podcasts we're the
I was
most
just
listened
thinking.
to.
Okay,
Go
is this
on.
corny, Mo? If we
Go on.
say LA, can we say that's for London and America?
Yes, that's corny. That's good. BJ, no, you leave the branding to me. You leave the branding to me. You leave that to me. You guys let us know what you think of that in the Discord. You can join it through the link in the description. But what I was saying is I do get the data from fans who send in their screenshots of their Spotify. And for all the people who sent in their thing and we were your most listened to podcast of the year last year, I saved all of that. Don't worry. There's
Thank
something
you.
coming for you. I'll be working on it. I've been working on it and I want to make it extra special. Just know this summer, there's something special coming your way. We appreciate all of you guys. And if we aren't your most listened to podcast, well, we do episodes Monday to Friday. And in the playoffs, we do 7 episodes a week. So I suggest you tune in every single day. And so subscribe wherever you can. We appreciate you. Share the podcast with your friends. And most importantly, until next time, get buckets.